Hey everyone, welcome to Daily Revelations. Thanks for joining me today and for just being on this journey with me. So today I was in both Deuteronomy 8 and 9, continuing on with Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy is the book that basically is a one talk that Moses gave mostly to the Israelites right before they went into the Promised Land. And so it was a summary of everything that had happened from the time that, well, even back to what happened even before them, to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. But then also everything that happened with being freed from slavery, from being wandering in the desert. And it's a compilation of, this is what the most important things you need to know. Don't forget this. And it's like, the way I think about it, it's like, what do you tell your kids before you send them off? And what do they need to know? What's most important? And so this is what Moses is saying is most important. And in Deuteronomy 8 and 9, we go on to learn something that God calls most important. And he basically tells them, I am not removing these people from this land and giving it to you because you are righteous. You are far from it. He basically, states over and over again in there that you're rebellious. Your hearts are rebellious. Remember the calf incident? There's a big long section in Deuteronomy 9 about this is what happened. This is what you did. And sometimes it's good to be reminded that things don't happen because we've made them happen. They happen because God made them happen. And that God uses different times to test our hearts and to see how needy we can be and less self-sufficient we can be. And the more self-sufficient we approach God and our relationship with God as, the less trusting and the less willing to be, to live in faith we are. And we often don't think about that way. We live in a society that says, you can do it your own way and make it happen. And if God is on your side, you will succeed. Yeah, if God is actually doing the work, not you. That's where we get messed up. And I know I was raised, you do it and you get it done. And the only person you can count on is yourself. I remember those lessons. And yet the more I dive into the Bible, the more God tells me it's not about anything you can do. It's about what I desire to do through you. And I'm going to test you. I'm going to test if your heart is willing to say, I need you, God, versus I can do this myself. And God puts us in those circumstances to test us. And that's basically what he told the Israelites in Deuteronomy 8. I took you through the wilderness to test you, to see where your hearts were. Because when I put you in the promised land, that's going to determine everything. Because when we get to a place where we aren't so needy, we start to get prideful and say, oh, it's all because of me. And God basically said, it's nothing to do with you. It has all to do with me and my grace on you. And so it just makes me think as I go through this, just how much more needy have I become as a Christian in my years of relying on God versus where I used to be, and how much further I still have to go. Because how much do I still turn to myself and say, I can do this, and I don't even consult God about it. And yet, that's what he wants me to do. It's, where is my heart? That's what it really gets down to. And am I allowing myself to be needy before God? Or am I saying, I can do it without you, God? And God wants us to be needy. He wants us to say, I need you. I want your plan. And in the end, God's plan is better anyways. And what he even says in Deuteronomy 8 is, if we show that we are rebellious and we are unwilling to submit to being needy, it's not the things that God is going to take away from us that's going to destroy us. It's our own selves. and our own pursuit of what is not of God that will eventually destroy us. And so we have a choice. We have a choice to say, I can't do it on my own, or I will do it on my own and I'll fail. So what's the better choice? Even with my obstinate nature, I'm learning to say I can't do it on my own, because I've been down that path way too many times to realize, yeah, this was not a good choice again. But thankfully, God is patient, and He gives us grace. He forgives us if we cry out to Him. And again, it's back to our heart. Are we willing to say, God, I messed up again, and I need you? Or I can just do this by myself, and I don't want any help. God wants us to ask for help. So ask Him. Be needy, because that's what being faithful and living in faith is all about. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you again tomorrow on Daily Revelations. Thanks for joining me.